Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? Make sure you subscribe, honey. We back. We back in New York. What's good? What's poppin', boo? Y'all already know. This is one of my favorites because where I'm from, New York City, you already know. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the episode. Episode number uno. All right, so Joe Budden, he was doing like the little intro voiceover. I thought it was pretty cool because I like his voice. I like the way he sounds when he talks. He has like one of those voices, like that radio voice, TV personality voice types of things. And Maino, he talks a little bit about his girl getting shot. They do like little brief intros for everybody, which was kind of cool. I guess to kind of get us caught up, like just and kind of keep us engaged from the very beginning. Of course, Mr. Safaree Mr. Everywhere is also there as well. Cyn, aka Erica's old boo thing, Erica Mena, she's now with Joe Buddens. They just had a baby recently. And they're having some issues in their relationship because she's a little bit upset that they ain't having sex like they used to. She said they used to do it a la 6-7 times a day. Honey child, your thing don't be hurting, honey. Girl, my thing is just getting all tight up and stuff just thinking about it. That's mad times, honey. She must have been using a whole ton load of lube because damn. Anyway, so she's kind of like, it seems like she might be going through some type of depression, which they was talking about a little bit in the trailers or whatever. And it's almost like she's pleading out to him, wanting more. I mean, for most people, when your boo thing, your husband, your man is not wanting to do it with you, it's like, what the hell? Who are you doing it with? But it seems like he's so wrapped up in his work. I mean, I can't tell for sure until we progress a little bit more, but it seems like he's so wrapped up in work as well as being wrapped up in the new baby that, you know, his career is kind of booming at the moment. They have this nice big house that he's just kind of not in the mood, or he's just not really into it. And plus he is an older man compared to her as well. So maybe he should give her a little leeway to at least be able to get some girls, you know, or something that she can have a little bit of loving, because she seems like she's really getting upset about it quite often. I mean, because they done talked about it so many times. Safaree, Rich Dollars, Joe Buddens and his baby, they all met up to just kind of have like a little talking. They brought up the whole Lyrica situation from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. He denies it all. And they just kind of like, but why? You know? And that's how I feel. Like, you kind of let it, the part where you messed up at Safaree is that you let it rock out. That was the problem. You never really said from the beginning, like, no, it didn't happen. You kind of just was like on some casual, coy type of laid back. You like, you know, kind of like let you assume what you want to assume. My dude, you ain't rock star. You can't be doing that, because that's what Rockstar was doing a whole ton of the times. But ain't nobody really come at him like that, the way they came at Safaree. If y'all ain't noticed that, like they asked him like maybe one time at the reunion, he said what he had to say, and that was it. They ain't press him like the way they keep on pressing Safaree, because they know who to do certain things to, because he's like, he reminds me of that guy, the nice guy that everybody walks over. You know, yeah, he gets upset at times, but he's that guy. And that sometimes can get you taken advantage of, where people will make you the butt of jokes and things like that all the time. Safaree lets him know that he's about to be going to Dykman. Dykman's uptown in New York City. It's like the borderline of the Bronx and like parts of Manhattan. There's a lot of Dominicans that predominantly live over there. I'm not sure if that's where Cardi B says she's from or not, but I know a lot of people that I used to work with back in the days, Dominican girls, they was from there. Dominican dude, they used to work with us, he was from there as well. So that's the area. So even him just saying he was going to Dykman was kind of like a red flag. Like, dude, where you going? You know what I mean? Where you going? But, you know, even Joe Buddens was like, that's usually where people go when they have like a hot single, hot new song or whatever playing on the radio. And he doesn't really have that right now. So let's see how this goes. Juelz, he tried to sneak a gun into the airport and things totally went left for him. I mean, bro, what was you doing? But then again, it's like you can't even ask what he was doing because he didn't even know what he was doing. Homie was high off a perkacet. You know, and that's the thing. He's got some dental work done. And it's crazy because I remember 50 Cent had put up a picture of him without no teeth, just having mad dental issues. And Juelz put up a picture like all smiles showing his teeth and that his teeth was in good health. But, you know, he said that when he did the dental work, he had Percocet and he just got real addicted to that. And I feel like that's what they do nowadays. Like the pharmaceutical industry and the doctors, they working together to get people high off this stuff so they can get that insurance money or whatever. And it's crazy. You know, I remember back, even when I had my son, I had a C-section. They didn't give me none of that crazy stuff, any opioids. Like that wasn't even something that was talked about back in those days. They gave me Motrin, okay? And I had to take that every 8 hours so that I would feel better. You know, and to be honest, if I was to have another kid, that's the same type of procedure that I would prefer as opposed to any of these hard medicines, because I'm not even a person that takes medicine. So to get something like that from nothing would be pure craziness to me. Like I don't even want to think of having to take something like that, you know? I remember one time they did try to prescribe me some type of opioid. I forgot which one it was. I think it was codeine. And even I didn't have money to get it because I didn't have insurance. And even the pharmacist was like, are you in a lot of pain? I'm like, no. He was like, you could just get Robitussin because I had bronchitis. So it's like a lot of times that's what they're trying to push on you so they can get the most money possible. So you definitely got to be careful with that. So that's what happened to him. And he said, you know, he had other issues as well. He was on lean and stuff like that. But at that particular moment, that's what he was on. And he said he didn't even know. He just heard the authorities was coming and he just broke out. He didn't even know until he heard on the radio his name and that he fled the scene and all this stuff. So that's how he knew that he was in trouble. So it's crazy. He eventually did go ahead and get clean when he was on house arrest, when he got, you know, locked up or whatever. His mother's like his provider right now, or the person that he's in their care. So anything goes wrong, I guess it goes back to her. And he can't even be with Kimbella and his kids because they're not married. So that's the perks of, you know, people be talking about, oh, it's just papers. But, you know, a lot of times those papers mean a lot more to certain situations, you know? So, she looked so different. Like she looked like she done plumped up herself even more. I remember I was looking at her Instagram like from back in the days and she didn't really have nobody, but she changed her whole entire body. And I feel like she did it mainly to kind of catch his interest and stop his wandering eye and things like that. But I don't know. Like sometimes it's like, damn, how much can you do just for one person? You know what I mean? I mean, maybe she loves it. Who knows? But I'm just saying. I feel like some people do things for the wrong reasons. Because I feel like she looked decent before. But it's almost like she wanted to compete with the younger girls and the girls that he was looking at. You know, the ones, the groupies and all that. It's like, I got everything you need. What you need to go out there for. But people gonna always find a way if they really want to. Safaree, he does the basketball game post show or whatever at Dykman, and the shit goes all the way left. Like it was real bad. Homie ends up getting booed off the stage. I'm not even sure if they say he got to do his first song. I remember this was on the blogs and stuff not too long ago, maybe like a month or two ago. It was real heavy. All the blogs that I follow on YouTube was talking about it. And yeah, like, and he ends up, when they started throwing stuff at him, he ends up saying, well, I fuck all the bitches that you guys dream about. Like just going in on them. You know, and I feel like he needed to learn how to respond to that because he really didn't have to say nothing. I mean, that just probably ignited the fuel even more. It just kind of made him look like he was the a-hole when they were, you know, but it was just not the right target market for him. It wasn't something that he should have been doing. And from what Joe has said later on is that it was a free show at that. Like, you going through all this for a free show? Is it really worth it? Not really. Like, these ain't your people at the end of the day. Where you from? You from, what, Queens, right? These people don't got love for you, bro. And they looking for something else. Like, this ain't their type of music. At least not you, bro. You need to be a little more famous before you can do all of that. So Kimbella and Juelz, they went to therapy. And once again, he talks about the stuff that he was on and how he doesn't want to get back to it. She kind of feels like she was partly to blame because she had to keep on looking at him and was nothing she can do to help him. But, you know, when people are stuck in their ways, regardless to what you say to them, sometimes it won't get through until they're actually ready to allow the message to be received, or until they get into some dire situation that there's no other option but to go straight and narrow. So, I mean, he told her, you can't really blame yourself, and he's going to do the best he can to get out of this by any means necessary. Alexis Sky, she moved from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood to Love and Hip Hop New York now. She's back in Jersey. I remember they said that, I remember Masika, when she had came on the scene, she was saying how, I think she said Fetty Wap either lived in Philly or New Jersey. I don't remember which one. And they had showed the clip of, him talking about he wished she would die. It was like a viral clip on YouTube. And I think they also showed it on Love and Hip Hop, if I remember correctly. But I know definitely it was on YouTube. They was just having like a big argument, and his boy was kind of pulling him back, like, chill, And I think she had a knife or something like that at her little busted down door that she used to live at. This was before the fame, And yeah, it's like, I guess she's here in New Jersey because Masika's in Atlanta right now doing Love and Hip Hop. I mean, growing up hip hop or growing up Atlanta, whatever. Even though, I don't know, none of that kind of goes with her brand, but she got connections, so hey. Anyway, so they kind of remind me of each other, as well as Bow Wow's ex or girl, whatever, the last one that he's with. They all kind of remind me of each other. They have that same type of complexion, the same kind of body structure. They're all in music as well as reality TV. They're all Instagrammers, probably all do tummy tea and all that other stuff or whatever to get their extra coins. But Alexis Sky, she says that music is her therapy. She's been through a lot. Her little baby had 4 brain surgeries, was premature, born at 23 weeks, and she had to have 7 blood transfusions in order to survive. So she did have a near-death experience. I feel like, I'm really happy that her daughter was able to survive all that, but I do kind of feel like her daughter was conceived in a malicious way, because I do feel like it was just kind of a competition thing. Like, oh, Masika has a child. She did say she was coming to wreak havoc on all of them. So I feel like she just was like, this was how she could show that, yeah, he's still doing me, and this is proof. I could say what I want, but nobody's believing me, so I'm going to show y'all proof by having a baby by him. And according to her, he's not really claiming the baby. He doesn't want to do the DNA test. So that's kind of where they're at. And that's why they had this big falling out, even though he did come to the birth and all that other stuff. So she's now on the same label that he's on, which is Treyway. So they kind of have to work together now. And I kind of feel like they did set her up, because she was just saying how she's not really cool with him. She don't really want to be around him. Who comes walking into the thing talking about congratulations? Of course he did. She looked like she was kind of blindsided by the whole thing. He says that he's going to do what he has to do. And he also was like, technically you're mine. And that's where Treyway kind of was like, you know what? All right, we're going to stop this right here, because we need to kind of separate the two, personal and business. And hopefully, that's something that they will be able to do. But I feel like she has so much hatred for him right now, because she's so passionate about him doing what he has to do, that she's not going to be able to really contain herself and just focus on what she needs to focus on until he handles what he needs to handle. And I kind of feel like he's doing that because, a lot of people are saying that Lucci from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood is the baby daddy. I feel like he's doing that too, because if you don't claim a kid, you ain't on the birth certificate or whatever, then how they going to take money from you? You know what I mean? So that could be a little bit part of the mix as well, why he not doing what he got to do, and she tight about that as well, because that's another paycheck that she about to be getting. I mean, I don't want to say it is, but it could be part of the reason. A lot of these women out here nowadays, they get with these successful people and they just see this as a come up, as an opportunity, as opposed to this is a beautiful person that you're raising, that you have to develop into a good human being. But I guess it's hard when you're not even a good human being a lot of times yourself. We talk about Maino now. So Maino, he's talking about, I don't really need to do an introduction, but my name is Maino. Bruh, you need to do an introduction because none of these new people out here know who you are, okay? I'm just saying, I mean, I barely even remember his top songs. I would have to Google it real quick and then I'll be like, oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just not that high. I remember back like maybe 7-8 years ago, he was at a club performance that we was at when I was managing models, urban models. You know, the girls that be on the like the covers and stuff like that. Yeah. So we was all at the and I said this story before. We was all at an event and his entourage was mad rude. It's crazy because me and my cousin was just talking about this like last week. How they was mad rude, and this one skinny dude, he was just trying to be like real disrespectful. So we was like telling him about himself, and luckily some other people came and they ended up having a fight, like a crazy fight. We had to like rush out of the place. They broke a bottle, was cracking bottles on people's head. We was out. But it just comes to show like it's not everybody that's supposed to move up with you. Like some of these hood dudes, they feel so bad about leaving these other people behind. But sometimes that's what you got to do when you get that opportunity. It's not, oh, let me take everybody with me, because not everybody is trained properly. Not everybody cares. Because at the end of the day, it's not their opportunity. It's yours. And they don't really have nothing to lose. They just have a lot to gain because they're on your tail. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, they don't even realize that. I don't know if they feel bad or if it's just they scared to be alone, you know, doing good. I don't know what it is, but that's how that is. And I kind of feel like that's how he probably got caught up in the situation where his girl got shot, is because they was probably either looking for him because he about that life, or one of his dudes from his entourage. Because you even see on stage, he got like 20 dudes with him. Like, what are you doing? Like, one hype man, 2 hype men is good, but you need your whole block? Like, for real, you need your whole block with you? What you doing? Anyway, Jacque's back. He's not with Kiana, whatever her name is, anymore. They didn't see eye to eye, which I kind of seen that coming. I mean, they wasn't right for each other. I don't feel like they was. He says that he's the face of Sean John, which is pretty cool. And, because, I mean, he's a good-looking man, so... And, you know, he got a nice little complexion and all that. So it's nice to see that he's doing that. And what else happened with him? He met up with Maino and Joe Buddens, and they was kind of talking about the situation with Safaree. Maino, I felt like he was honest. He was a little shady, but honest at the same time, because he was saying how he don't really know Safaree, but he do feel like the stuff Safaree raps about, oh, if you rob me, I'm a bang bang and all this stuff, it doesn't really go with his brand, because next day you on the radio crying. So it's like, which one you going to be? You going to be a kill him, shoot him type of dude? Or you going to be a Mr. Lover, I'm crying on the radio type of dude? Like, which one are you going to be? And that's where the problem is. Like, that's why he's getting into these types of problems, getting robbed and stuff like that. And he being mad flashy and all that. He even said that he got his jewelry back like the next day, you know? So, and then like when he was in confessional, you know, when they had their little speech, I do feel like he was a little bit shady, just because he was like, a lot of these dudes out here, they be rapping about certain situations and things like that, and it's all fake. So I kind of feel like he was calling the dude fake without calling him fake, like, you know, like type of passive aggressive type of thing. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's honest, it's truthful, because there is a lot of dudes out here that talk about stuff they've never experienced in their life, but they just watched on TV, or they heard other rappers talk about, and they feel like it's cool. But you ain't about that. You know, and if people start pressing you or start running up on you, then you're gonna be like, you're gonna be tight, you know, or you're gonna get more than you bargained for. But the thing about it is that you was rapping about it, you know. So that's kind of where that whole thing was at. Alexis Sky, she talked to Cyn and Kimbella. They just had like a little sit down. She's happy that she got them to talk about. And I mean, they was just kind of recapping everything that we know about all of them. One is sexually frustrated. One's boo thing is going away. And the other one, she got her baby daddy situations. Joe, he has like a serious talk with Safaree. And I felt like this was like a Snoop Dogg talks to the younger cats type of situation, where he just kind of was telling him that he kind of when he performs, he normally performs for what type of audience? A group of women, mainly women, and they love him, they adore him, because they looking, they want them sweatpants. They be like, let me get a picture of that and blow it up. I bet Safaree Zuzu. I'm thinking about the girl from that's gonna be in Love and Hip Hop Miami, Jessie Woo. So, they love him, but he's going over here doing free shows for dudes on Dykman, Dominican dudes on Dykman, that don't care about him. And then, his lyrics are talking about bang, bang and all this. So it's kind of like you already offending them and telling them you would kill them and this and that. So it's like, it's just not the right target audience. That's like me talking about, I'm going to start trying to promote to travel people. Like, they don't want to see me in my room talking or see me like doing nothing. So that's not going to, you have to know your market and you have to know your brand, and then you go ahead and push it out to those types of people. I mean, it goes for even people like me that have small brands. And definitely for somebody like him, you got to know your brand, know your market. And it seems like he's a little confused. He's just trying to go promote everywhere, go sing everywhere, doing stuff for, like, dude, was it worth it at the end of the day to get garbage thrown at you for free? I mean, I don't know if it was legit for free, but that's what Joe Budden said. And I ain't hear him deny it or anything like that. And then he's talking about how, he's just go back 2 weeks later, a month later, and buy the same jewelry that he just got robbed from. It's like, why you wear all this flashy stuff? Like, what's the point? But the thing is, he got so used to wearing flashy stuff from when he was with Nicki that he feels like, I guess that's like his thing. That's what he's comfortable. That's what he wants to do. He wants to bling all the time. Anyways, so Kimbella, she finds out that Juelz may be going away for 5 years. He could either take a plea or he could take a actual or go to trial. So he's not really sure what he wants to do, but he wants to do whatever is going to be guaranteed, because a lot of times when you go to trial, it's not guaranteed that you won't even get, what is it called, acquitted or whatever the word is. A lot of times you be guilty, you go to jail for mad years. So he's trying to do whatever is probably going to give him the best result and the least amount of time. So it's kind of like a struggle for them right now. But I mean, that's pretty much what we saw in the first episode. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in future episodes. And guys, definitely rock with me. We're going to be doing this. And, stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I'll see you in the next one. Later.